Hello, one and all, and welcome to a great evening of Overwatch here on Northeastern University's Varsity Twitch page. We've got a rematch of last year's ESC Conference Finals between Northeastern and Miami, Ohio. This is the first game of the ESC season, and what a way to start it. Both teams had to make some last-minute changes right before this match as a brand new patch dropped today at 2 p.m. Not giving either team a lot of time between classes, jobs, and other activities to get ready to the brand new changes, but it looks like both the teams have a similar read on the meta. We're seeing a lot of similar characters out here. Looks like it's going to be some Ramatra rush to start things off. Both teams utilizing a Symmetra to get to point fast. Try to take the high ground positioning. One change here already. We're seeing a little bit of stylistic choice here between Woe's Tracer and Bonesaw's May. Let's see how it plays out. And that's an early pick for Miami. Woe going on the flank, trying to get some pressure on the back line. That's a huge pick onto the enemy Sojourn.
Hello.
That'll keep Northeastern in the game and give Hedwig some time to get back. Ooh, great headshot by Bonesaw, but Slee keeps it even. Still anybody's fight here. But those numbers are just too many, and Slee will do his best to maybe get a pick here, but not quite. The first fight of the match, hotly contested, but it's going to go to Miami. It's going to set up Miami very well here to be able to take whatever approach they want. It looks like they're going to go with the traditional setup on the high ground. Northeastern's going to look to, it looks like, put pressure directly onto the point itself. Force the rotation out of Miami. And, ooh, that's another early pick for Bonesaw. He's really making his presence felt on this May. Squeeze just going to go for the fast reset. Not much else you can do there. QG hop on the Kiriko is the heart and soul of this team. It's the majority of the healing, a lot of the utility, and the best ultimate in the game. That's definitely the hope here for Northeastern, is that QG hop is significantly faster on this ult than Shocker right now. Woe looking for another flank here. He's got a pulse bomb. Can you get some value out of it? It is a very high-powered ultimate, but you got to stick it, and that's hard. Half health. Doesn't quite stick the ultimate, as we said. Hard one to stick. Hedwig makes up for it. And there's that Kiriko ult we were just talking about. Can Northeastern swing this into some momentum? Hedwig looking for an angle to pull his own ultimate. Lee probably looking to hold this one. And it looks like Northeastern's going to be able to clean this fight up. Flip the point with just under 30% on the board for Miami. We'll have to see what kind of impact this Blizzard can have, as both teams are still figuring out this brand new meta. There's the Blizzard to engage. How will Northeastern deal with it? They're going to hold the beat, and they're going to get some picks through the Blizzard. Very big Ramatra ult to follow it up. That's going to be very close to a team wipe, and it does end up being one. Northeastern will have to win at least 2 more fights here. 1 more to come even with Miami, who's at 76% already, and then 1 more to close things out. We'll have to see if Miami goes for the fast engage. They do. They're going to try to force this first fight to end it here. Woe gets a huge pick onto Skirtle. Hedwig follows it up, and that's no DPS left for Miami. But with a pick onto the tank of Northeastern, this fight could still go either way. Northeastern does an excellent job there disengaging from the Ramatra ult to make sure that it actually comes to an end. That ultimate just keeps going on and on as long as it is actively hitting an enemy. And so just as we prognosticated, Northeastern wins 1 fight and is drawn even, and now it's anyone's game. Last fight. Both teams in similar positions here ult-wise. The big advantage for Northeastern is QG hop with that ultimate. QG hop pulls it, but Sklee gets separated by the May wall and falls. That's going to be very difficult for Northeastern to come back from. The best hope the Northeastern can have here is to stall things out. Maybe compete for a recontest here. They will have time for one more recontest. It's vital that no one gets picked early here. This fight is for the entire round in this best of 3 control to start things off in our best of 5 series. It looks like the plan may be for Woe to get the touch onto the point while everyone fights for this high ground positioning. That is exactly what happens as Woe touches for the Huskies, contests the point so that the enemies cannot finish it, and Kabunga is the first takedown. And as we've seen, first takedown usually spells disaster for their team. Hedwig able to take down Shocker. That's most of the healing gone for Miami. Timid is traded out for Bonesaw. That's a fight the Huskies take every time. And now it just comes down to whether or not they have to play cleanup, and they do not. The Huskies take round 1. Very back and forth first round, but way to go, Huskies. Cleaning things up, figuring it out. Great play on the Ramatra from Sklee. Really great play all around from the team. I'm expecting to see more of the same here. If anything's going to change, maybe Bonesaw flexes off of this May. And we see that happen exactly. Looks like they're going to try out some Genji. What's it with Overwatch players and Genji? They just love them. They're always going to try to make it work, even if it doesn't. Well, who knows? Brand new meta. Maybe Genji's good now. What'll be interesting is if Miami's able to take this one away. The third point here on Busan City Center is traditionally a much more dive-focused map. Will we see wholesale changes? Whoa, gonna switch over to the legs. Maybe a response to thinking that there may be a Mei on the enemy side. Great denial there from Timid, keeping the enemies away from that flank position they wanted so badly. It'll be interesting to see if Woe changes now that he knows it's a Genji on the enemy's team. But it's working out so far for the Huskies. 2 huge parts of Miami's team down already in Kabunga and Bonesaw. And that'll be an early point capture for the good guys in Northeastern. Looking at the ults, it looks like Northeastern is up on most, if not all of the ults, which is great for them. Traditionally, the team that is winning fights should be ahead on most ults, but that's not always the case. Sometimes a losing team supports will have ult advantage. Ooh, and this is some excellent Genji play here from Bonesaw, and he's going to be able to flip it almost single-handedly. Woe is going to make an adjustment now that he knows the enemy's team comp. Going away from the Soldier 76 onto the Reaper should give the Huskies a better chance of finishing eliminations onto the enemy tank. I would expect to see Woe and Sklee living in each other's shirt for some time here, playing as a unit as much as they can. Sklee looks to be trying to find an opportunity for his ult, potentially. He is surrounded by enemies. Now would be a good time to pull it, and there it is. And there is the 2-man wrecking crew of Sklee and Woe in action, and it is going to flip the point for the Huskies. An expensive fight. It took 2 of their better ults in Ramatra's ability and Rush of Kiriko for the Huskies, but it was matched by their opponent. Maybe another quick engage here. That's a risky teleport from Woe, but he gets away with it. Skirtle has ultimate here. Can really make some pain if they are able to hit some heads with the railgun shots. Here comes the ultimate. Hedwig can match if he wishes, and he does. And he takes out Skirtle mid-ult with his. Just saying, my railgun's better. Gets Bonesaw for good measure. And finish off the entirety of the team with that railgun onto Kabunga. Northeastern in great position here. They've got Woe's ultimate to force positioning of the enemy. Likely we will see Shocker save their Suzu, knowing Woe probably has Death Blossom, but Woe's able to force some positioning off of the point here, which is exactly what you want out of that ultimate. And then Sklee's looking to build his too for this last fight. There's the ultimate. No Suzu to be seen. Woe and Hedwig clean up 3 of the 5 Miami players in short order, and Bonesaw's just hanging on a prayer there. This first round is gonna go the way of Northeastern. That was a great series from Northeastern. Really, all 5 players did an excellent job. Hedwig had some pop-off moments in his debut for the varsity team. The rest of these guys have been on the team for a while and performed just as we expected them to. Here we're seeing Sklee just absolutely clean up a team fight with his ultimate ability. We're gonna head to a short break here, and we hope to see more of the same for Northeastern in map 2. And we're back. Map 2 in our best of 5 series here. The losers of map 1, Miami, have selected Eichenwald as their second map choice. Eichenwald, one of the newer maps. Not quite as new as some of the ones that have come during Overwatch 2's time, but one of the newer ones for original Overwatch. Features a classic control point here on point 1. The Northeastern will look to defend from Miami, and then should Miami or Northeastern capture that point, they will move on to the second phase on this castle that you're seeing behind Sklee here. It looks like consensus of the meta, at least this early on, is we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to switch out Roadhog with Ramatra, which has made for some fun fights. Ramatra ult definitely incentivizes team play. It feels very similar to anyone that's familiar with old Rush metas, centered around a Reinhardt-Zarya combo. Except now they've got the Ramatra doing both jobs, both tanking and dealing damage. Northeastern gonna go for a right side approach here, wanting to limit the expected path on the left. It's interesting that we're seeing the stylistic difference here in the Genji versus the Tracer. It did not work out great last time for for Miami, but maybe this map with some more verticality works out better for the Genji. Whoa, going on the flank again. He's living on this flank right now. Miami not peeling at all, just trying to hope that Woe misses his shots. Gotta keep Hedwig alive there, but at least they're able to trade it out. Miami having good point presence here. Bonesaw's gonna be hard to force off that high ground, but Timmy does a good job of doing so. Next pick's gonna swing this fight, and unfortunately it goes to Miami, but maybe QG Hop's able to pull it back. It is gonna be hard to maintain any sort of semblance on the point for attacker or defender without their tank. Bonesaw cleans up Timid. A nice headshot combo there. But he's won. Northeastern's going to withdraw, give up some capture percentage here on the point, and hope to re-engage. But with Hedwig falling there, they're just not going to be able to. They're going to have to look to maybe take an early fight here on Castle. Maybe just deny this high ground. Let's see what they decide to do. Much more coordinated attack here for Miami. You can tell this map is definitely in their regular rotation of scrims. They did a very good job. All attacking is one there.
That feels much better.
Hedwig continues to just blast away, looking to charge his ultimate, charge a railgun, whatever it may be. Woe falls early to another great play by Bonesaw. It looks like both teams are looking to engage on this fight. We're seeing matching Ramasha and Kiriko ults. Lots of stuff's happening on the screen. Chaos everywhere. Hopefully Northeastern comes out on top, and that's a good start there. Sweet picks up 2 big ones. 3 big ones. Northeastern is going to be able to win this fight after a heavy investment of ultimates by both sides. It'll be interesting to see how the teams adjust here, whether they enter more of a poke phase to rebuild these fights, or if Miami wants to try to win a fight with no ults on either side. Very much a stylistic thing. They certainly have the time in their time bank if they wish to poke for ultimates instead of engaging, but it looks like they want to engage. More fights, faster, more win. Hedwig, rail shot, gets another. And a third. They're looking around for this Lucio. Where is he at? There he is. Who's going to get the kill? It'll be Timid in the end. Great plays there by supports and DPS alike. Woe's got a pulse bomb here. He hasn't been able to stick one yet, but he's definitely got the talent to. If he's able to stick one onto Jaybird or Skirtle here, they're both difficult targets to stick because of how mobile they are, but they also will fall in the stuff. Hedwig with a crazy angle way on top there. Out here looking like some Widow specialist streamers. There's the pulse bomb, gets an attach and a kill onto Bonesaw. Jaybird's gonna look to move point. It's gonna be hard for Woe to contest 2v1. QG Hop's desperately yelling at his team. Come back just a little bit, please. I beg you, so I can teleport into the fight. Smart of Northeastern here to give up a little bit of progression on this cart. This cart has to move all the way across this bridge. It's fine to let the cart move a little bit across this bridge and take this fight at a more even positioning. Here comes everybody press Q fight. All the ultimates get unleashed. And it's going to come down to who can hit abilities, and Hedwig starts it off. Railgun into the tank, into his counterpart on Skirtle. Woe finishes up Shocker. Northeastern with another team fight here. They're going to go hunting for these last few members, see if they can find where they may be hiding. But they'll be satisfied with getting 3. Installing the cart here on Bridge. Bridge is loved. This positioning of this cart is beloved by every Lucio player you'll ever meet, because it is absolutely an environmental kill nightmare for teams looking to cross it. 2 big kills here. Hedwig does fall, but that should be winnable for Northeastern still. Timid's looking to line up a environmental kill. He's not gonna quite get it, but the game could have been nicer and given him credit for it. Sure, Kabunga was resetting, but I mean, there was a Lucio to hero him. You might as well give it to him. All right, 1 fight territory here for Miami. This is a solid push on this map. It is hard to cap the complete second point on occasion, and we're not sure what this meta is looking like, so this could be a very good push here for Miami. Northeastern wants to make sure that no matter how good a push it is, this is where it stops. Squeeze and Kabunga both going early with their ultimates. Charlie is well ahead. Charlie being QG Hop is well ahead on his ult, and he is going to use that to his advantage. Absolute domination here on point 2 by the Northeastern Huskies. Great job pacing out that fight, deciding when to take fights, what positioning was important. We're not in comms. We can only imagine that the comms there were pristine as well. This is a very winnable situation for Northeastern. They need a cap on first point and near completion on second point to win and go up 2-0 in the series. I would expect to see more of the same characters from both teams. Maybe Northeastern will come out with a wrinkle on the attack. Hedwig is a heck of a Widow player. I would not put it past him to come out on the Widow and look for a cheeky grapple shot, but it is his debut, and he's gonna stick on the Soldier. Maybe that enters Hedwig's arsenal in a couple weeks' time. Keep your eye out for that.
Not a fan of your home team.
Bonesaw
Don't put words in my mouth.
playing a Torbjorn. That will limit Woe's abilities to go on flanks. Woe has been getting very good value in forcing positioning of these supports of Miami. And Torbjorn's turret will do a great job of checking Woe on the Tracer. I would not be surprised to see Woe maybe pull out the Soldier 76 again. Maybe something completely different. It is going to be very difficult to run the Tracer into this Torb turret over and over. Helpful if your Lucio is wall riding and blowing up the turret for you. Absolutely. Northeastern's going to look to take the attack on this here right side. They've already forced the positioning. Woe's doing a great job over here. Gotta be a little careful. He's only got 1 blink left in the bag. Northeastern has fully forced Miami off of the point, but Skirtle is gonna pick up the kill on Woe and Kabunga the kill on Timid. So Northeastern's just gonna try to hold in this fight and see if they can build any progression towards their ultimates, because this is not gonna be winnable in the long term for the Huskies. And there's Miami being able to finish things up there. And we do see the switch coming from Woe. That Torb change does force him off of the Tracer that he was definitely getting away with some shenanigans on the flank on. That's a good adjustment by Miami here on the defense. Now we get to see the 2-man hit squad again. See if it's able to be just as effective again, and that's a great start. It's always remarkable how fast these players are able to pick up characters. Ramatra has been out for a little over a month, right around a month, and both of these tanks are playing this character and all of its cooldowns just so well, so efficiently. Of the 5 characters on either team, 3 of them have come out since the October release of Overwatch 2. Dynamic time in Overwatch. As we said, many of these characters had abilities change literally earlier today, and teams had to come up with what they thought that meant for what characters were good with other characters, what strategies to play around. Northeastern and Miami have been very similar reads on the meta, but Northeastern right now executing like a charm. Northeastern looking here very well with the beat and Woes. Death Blossom. Squeeze able to break the turret. Northeastern's definitely going to want to fight for this position up top. And positioning doesn't matter if the enemy team's all dead. It's good to get the positioning first to show you know how to play Overwatch, but if you're just going to kill everybody, positioning doesn't matter that much. Timid and Hedwig able to hold on to their ults through that exchange as well. Really just getting it done on the back of Woe's Death Blossom. Northeastern looking very well here. You do wish they were able to get some cart progress during that fight instead of taking the fight and then moving the cart, but beggars can't be choosers. Timid decides to aggro beat, go for the early engage with the beat, give his team some extra health to work with as they look to force Miami off of this great positioning that they have on top. And it's going to work out, again, gangbusters for the Huskies, winning both the positioning battle and getting the picks. Bonesaw is going to, in desperation almost, throw his ultimate out there and hope the Northeastern walks into it. This map is absolutely going the way of the Huskies. That's a 2-0 start to the series, and the Huskies look amazing. A word of caution, though. Northeastern will need to continue this pace, this chemistry, this positioning, because we saw in the last matchup of these teams, we saw Miami go up 2-0 and Northeastern pull off a reverse sweep. Northeastern will look to avoid having the same happen to them here in the rematch of that game when we come back in just a minute. welcome back, everybody. Map 3 in this best of 5 series between Northeastern University Huskies and Miami of Ohio. Northeastern has taken a 2-0 lead so far and is looking to close out the series here on Rialto. Rialto is an escort map. Both teams on their turns attacking. Miami will be attacking first. They're going to try to move that there cart right there with the crate on it throughout the map and see how far they can push it. Well, the enemy team is going to try to stop them through contesting the point and through killing the enemy team. We do have a change here. It looks like Fozix is in, replacing the other DPS for Miami. But it looks like, for the most part, hard to tell with maybe some shenanigans here for Miami going on in spawn. It would be very interesting if they're in fact coming out on Bastion Baptiste. We have not seen either of those characters in quite some time in collegiate competitive play. But it does look like that is the plan, at least to start things off. Bonesaw here on the Bastion going on the flank. Northeastern is definitely not going to see this coming. So it's all going to be on, can they respond? And Woe's going to give them some great information right there. They know that the enemy team has the Bastion, and they know the positioning they're taking. We're going to see, it looks like the Baptiste is going to be responsible for moving the cart, while Jaybird and Bonesaw go on a two-man demolition crew. Hedwig just a little better today. Hits the rail shot, gets rid of Bonesaw. That's a lot of the enemy team's damage, but Fozix and that Sojourn can still do a lot of pain too, so Northeastern has to pick its spots. Here we go. Again, another engage. Miami looks like they are very happy just to poke here, wait for their Bastion to get into position and try to just out-damage the heals. Kiriko can do a lot of heals, but not quite that many in comparison to a Bastion in turret form. It looks like this team fight is going to go the way of Miami, and Northeastern will have to think of how to adjust to a Bastion. Shocker here, building up this amplification matrix, is going to make Bonesaw hit even harder if they decide to use it with the turret form in combination. But Woe, if he gets a great pulse bomb here, can end this push right here at the bridge. Woe's been just off with his pulse bombs most of the match. One of the hardest ults to do right in the game, so not to be surprised there. Northeastern still going to be able to maybe get something out of this fight, but no, it's just going to go the way of Miami here on this first point. Northeastern has not made any adjustments to the enemy composition yet. Whether that is them being confused on how to adjust or them believing that they are on the correct composition, that they're just not playing it correctly, yet to be seen. Here on point 2 of Rialto, the staircase is the main focal point. If you have control of this staircase, it gives you access to this high ground from the defender's side. Both teams are going to be desperate to control the staircase, so much so that here comes QG Hop with his Kitsune Rush, trying to make sure the Northeastern keeps control of the high ground. Bonesaw has built up Bastion's new ultimate in Overwatch 2. It'll be interesting to see how he goes about using that. It does do a lot of damage, his new ultimate ability, but it is rather easy to kill the Bastion while he's doing it, and it's also fairly easy to dodge. It's going to be a hard one to coordinate without something that will bring all of Northeastern into one area like a Zarya grab. Northeastern is able to win this fight here. Glee with another amazing Ramatra ult. It's definitely been one of Northeastern's tried and true plans here. And here comes this Bastion ult. It is very fun to do here with the airstrikes, feeling like you're in an old school Call of Duty game. But as we said, it's very difficult to get value out of, and Bonesaw barely does any damage with it. Woe is able to take out Shocker's Immortality Field, but not get any kills with his ultimate. But no Immortality Field means the BAP is free game for anyone else. This fight is still back and forth. Woe might be able to flip this, but it takes going to be a lot of hit points for a Tracer to get rid of. Kabunga will eventually be able to clutch that out for Miami, but just by himself, Northeastern still has a chance to engage here on this second point. It will be in a good position to do so. QG Hop will get back fast as Kitsune Rush. No Kiriko on the enemy side to counter with their own. There's the Kitsune Rush for QG Hop. That ultimate ability multiplies the speed of all of your abilities and all of your teammates' abilities, and multiplies the speed at which all of your cooldowns come back. So it is absolutely the strongest ultimate in the game. Jaybird, so often the last on his team to die. You love that out of a Lucio, but it does end up with some funny kill cams of 5 people shooting at one Lucio trying to escape. Woe's going back on this flank. He's building up pulse bombs rather quickly, so even though he's not getting the biggest value, he's definitely in their head. That they always have to be looking all over. And that can cause just torment on a team when they're not healing, like Miami's not healing right now. That's a fun little exchange there between Bonesaw and Woe. It'll go the way of Bonesaw. But that's some of the fun that Overwatch can definitely give you. Hedwig doing a great job getting QG Hop out of danger there. Northeastern should be able to get another touch here. They got to stall for just a few seconds until Timid can get back with this beat and take this fight in earnest. It's going to be a little difficult for Northeastern with Kabunga having the ult and Sklee not. But Timid beats. Woe's going to look to just take out some squishes in the back. Isn't able to, gets taken out by a headshot from Kha'Zix. Kabunga's ult is still going. Like we said, as long as there is an enemy being damaged by it, it just keeps going. Northeastern not able to disengage there, otherwise they would have given up the point anyways. Just have to let Kabunga get great value. A minute 58 is not a lot of time here on this point. Sklee is switching over to one of his best heroes, his Sigma. Not that his Ramattra was bad by any means. That was excellent Ramattra play. But here on this point, the shield is going to prove invaluable. So is the shift ability in the feet. Being able to absorb some of the Bastion's damage. Here comes this Bastion ult again. Again, not really getting any value off of it. It's fun, but Bastion probably should have stayed being picked in quick play only. Woe does finally stick a pulse bomb, takes down Bonesaw, takes out Kabunga. Shocker trades it, but Hedwig takes out his counterpart. Northeastern wins that one pretty handily. The supports for Miami are able to escape. That means that this fight will happen much closer to that 1 minute mark than otherwise. But if Miami doesn't engage fast, they're gonna waste all this time anyways, because this will end up being last fight either way. These fights can take a while in these Ramattra builds. QG Hop with a huge double dink headshot onto Bonesaw takes him out. Whoa, just causing absolute mayhem in this backline. But Miami's gonna be able to re-engage off that pick. That's the difficulty of playing 5v1 all game like Woe has. Every so often, you catch a stray headshot. Sklee has built up his Sigma ult. It'll be interesting to see if he goes here for a Sig 9. Not quite saving it for that long, but he does get the Lucio ult out of Jaybird, and they get some kills through it. Northeastern's looking to clean up here. Absolutely Timid with the melee onto Bonesaw. This will be as far as Miami will get. 57.89 meters on the second point. 57.9 meters on the second point will win the match for Northeastern and start the ESC season off undefeated. These are always interesting moments in competitive Overwatch. Being the team down big and knowing that you've got to hold. Sometimes you see some desperation ideas, some desperation plans come out. We've already seen some interesting decisions in the Torbjorn, which was fairly effective, and the Bastion, which was maybe less so. So it'll be interesting to see if Miami's got something cooking. And they absolutely do. It is the Pharmacy with a Baptiste.
Checking in.
This will work either wonderfully for Miami or be a total disaster. And we will know how it's going pretty early, as Bonesaw's going to look to use the propulsion rocket here to hopefully knock some of Northeastern's players off of this bridge and into the water for some cheesy elims. Northeastern going with the tried and true Tracer Sojourn, with the exceptions of when Miami has decided to opt for the Torbjorn. Woe and Hedwig have done an amazing job on this combination. There's no reason to do anything else. It'll be good to see Hedwig contest here. You absolutely can contest the Pharah Mercy with a Sojourn. It may be a little more difficult than the traditional answer, which would be a Soldier, but not if your Lucio's killing the Mercy. What a pick by Timid there. That changes the whole complexion of this opening fight. And although things are pretty even here, you gotta feel good with the ult advantage going Northeastern's way and those early picks that Northeastern will be able to get significant cart progress here, if not be able to turn this into an outright point capture. Here comes Sklee. Ramatra's block ability, recently figured out in the Overwatch high levels how good that can be. Interesting to see Sklee just use his ability to force space instead of trying to pull the Pharah out of the air. Ramatra does have that ability. It is rather hard to hit, so it makes sense for Sklee to use it as a slow instead of as a pull a Pharah Mercy out of the air. Hedwig's looking for some positioning here. Oh, and Bonesaw, while I wasn't looking, switched completely off of Pharah. Probably the right move for Miami. But it may have come a little too late for point one, as Northeastern is able to wrap it up here off the back of another huge ultimate from Sklee. If we had live stats going here, I would update you, but Sklee is absolutely getting multiple kills out of every one of these ultimates, making the most of them, choosing the correct time to use it, putting himself in position to be making contact with it with as many targets as possible. And we see here Miami take one out of Northeastern's playbook and go with the Reaper. The Reaper and Ramatra two-man squad that just walks down the middle looking menacing has been absolutely pivotal at times for Northeastern. But Northeastern thinks that overall they're going to get more value off of the Tracer. That was a very big Death Blossom there for Bonesaw. Good old classic 1v1 of some supports here. Jaybird's got to be careful. He doesn't quite have the finishing power kunai to the head from Kiriko does. Northeastern again gonna split up into, it looks like, 2 units. One unit is going to stay near the cart. The other is going to look to force positioning on their opponent. It looks like the second unit has forced the positioning, except for Kabunga, who is the last one to get forced off of this high ground if Northeastern so desires. Big poke phase here. Both teams just happy to poke, build ults. No one's engaging hard. I would not be surprised to see Sklee be the engaged, and he absolutely is. He's looking to, again, carry the back of this team fight with his Ramatra ult. Fozzic's able to get one in the background with his rail shot. Sklee's ult's still going, but he's getting low. Gonna need a lot of heals, and they don't come for Northeastern. They're gonna have to disengage here. That was 3 ults invested in a losing fight. That is going to hurt Northeastern's chances here, but with 2.5 minutes, there's still plenty of time to rebalance the ults. It's also interesting to see Miami also go over to the Kiriko here on the tail end of point 1 into point 2. Baptiste did not seem to be getting a ton of value. QG hop likely going to engage here with Kitsune Rush, and Woe at the same time will look for a pulse bomb. There's the Kitsune Rush from both teams. They're just gonna hit each other real hard up here. Fight is going the way of Miami, but Woe does get Jaybird.
And you thought I was rusty.
Northeastern's gonna have to go back to the drawing book again. This one is quickly, the momentum in this one is going towards the way of Miami. They have positioning advantage. The closer and closer to the second point the cart gets, the better the spawn advantage gets for the defender as well. And they've got all the ults. Woe just going to look to switch over to the Reaper, going towards a mirror match here. Try to push that cart a little if he's able. Wasn't able to get much. All right, we're coming down to a similar situation for Northeastern here that Miami had on point 3 on their attack. Northeastern's going to have to engage quickly or risk not even getting 2 fights out of this. That is very bad for Northeastern. Hedwig has been a huge part of their damage core. But Woe's able to get one back. No bone saw is also a significant loss for Miami. Sklee's just going to push right in as hard as he can. There's the beat. He knew it was coming. It didn't matter that it went low. If Sklee can get the kill here out of Phozix, Woe's able to. Jaybird thinks he's sneaky. Caught by Timid and Hedwig. And Northeastern does look like they're going to be able to take this and turn this into a .2 capture. Although Miami invests the Kitsune Rush here, some would call that a wasted ult. They have to abandon their best ult in the game, unfortunately. It was close. Absolute credit to Shocker. That's the kind of play that can win you a game if you guess right. You guessed just wrong, and it may end up costing us. Hugie Hop's gonna have Kitsune uncontested, and Kitsune with the Death Blossom is absolute mayhem. So hopefully we get to see it. Won't even need to. They force him off the map, and even though point 2 was tough there, Northeastern comes away with a win. Thanks for tuning in. Northeastern begins their season 1-0 in the Esports Collegiate Conference. Looking to defend their conference championship last year. Tune in next week for some more Overwatch action.